Hello traders, how are you? Vladimir here. This is the live market review, 30th of May 2017. Well, let's start with the fact that this is non-farm payrolls week. Yesterday was a bank holiday. Um, the moves are slow, the volatility is low, and the human wish to trade is very high, especially on such periods, right? Because, well, that's very natural that when everything is moving, we are scared to touch because everything is moving fast, right? And when everything is not moving, we are trying to touch as much as possible in order to make it move. Unfortunately, in the reality, it doesn't work this way. And patience is the key. I said it many times and I will continue to say that because it's very important. Traders remind that to themselves and not trying to force things to happen. Very important. Right? So, what are the opportunities we still can watch for and wait for the setups? That's the key thing here. If you try to force it, the market will revenge. If you listen to the market, that might be the smart thing to do, and the market will congratulate you for that and respect you for that. Okay, so the first one is the New Zealandian dollar. Theoretically and technically, we still are in the range, which is mainly designed on the weekly time frame, and we still are after longs here. Let me put the shape here. This is the range I refer to, of course, with false breaks on the top, false breaks on the bottom. It's holding pretty beautifully. We have the trend line there as well, going from top, so technically we have the room to go forward and higher. But, and here comes the but, this is the second false break on the bottom. Once was here, second one is right here, and that might be the false break on the top. We are now on 2 cycles meeting points, which are on the short term, but still 2. This is the big one, and this is the short one. Now it develops that like a triple cycle here. We are in a critical zone. If we take a look on the short-term view, this is what we got here. This is the 15 minutes, and we can use 15 minutes here because we work with the 4-hour cycles with 1-hour chart combos. And in that case, that's what we got. This is a special cycle by itself. It could stop here, could stop once again, but this is what we get here. So we are after shorts. The bottom line. How to do that? We need false breaks. Do we have any right now? The answer is no, we don't. Right? That's the case. That's the place we have it, and right now it creates it, but that's only one. And this is the false breaks we got. So the convergence we need to get, right below this area. So in order to get there, we need 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, right? And then, and only then, we can call it as the first leg of the correction. As long as it didn't happen, we are still after highs. If it will happen here, move down, 2 waves retrace, and the breakout, we can go and try the shorts. As long as it didn't happen, do not try to be a hero. That might be very expensive lesson. Okay, so stay safe here and don't force things to happen. Wait for things to happen. OZ Kiwi, same story. Still dancing around the critical zones. Anything below 105, up to 104 zone, down to 104 zone would be critical area where we're expected to go long. We already had a divergence. We need ideally one more low to be created with this divergence, and we are good to go longs. The cycles are here, the levels are here, the divergence is there, so just patience required here. That's what we are looking to trade with right now. And there are a few more interesting things coming to the list which it's time to discuss about. Let's start with the New Zealandian versus Canadian. Here we go. This pair is reaching a wonderful zone. We are on a daily range. This is the small variation. This is the big variation, right? Let's take with the small, and let's put the cycles here. If we put the cycles, what do we discover? We discover that we are on a critical zone, right? Right here, and of course the one on the short term, right here. Very, very powerful zones. Very good looking. By ideal, we should go a bit higher to here, that would be just amazing sell, but I'm a bit doubtful it will. Now it could, of course, definitely could go there, especially if the New Zealand will keep gaining the strength, and from there it will be really, really good sell opportunity. But as I said, we are already on good levels. We need false breaks as well. We got one here on the 1 hour chart, okay, and we are potentially to get the second one. The problem is that we don't have the divergence currently. So what could happen is, in order to get the second one, is one more down, one move up, false break here, right, and then retrace and sell the breakout. That in case that these levels are respected. If not, the next is not really far away, and we will be really waiting for that to happen there, because it's really, really, really good. Now here is the interesting thing: we can involve the lower time frame trading as well, okay, like 15 minutes for example, because the 4 hour chart cycle involved. But in order to do that, that is not enough to go blindly here, because we are against the daily, so we need 2 false breaks. Okay, so we either got one more false break and then lower lows, retrace and sell, or the alternative is always get it in a special cycle or triple cycle to be called the first leg, 2 waves retrace and breakout. It's an alternative for the setups if they are not clear. Of course, we want to play that by ideal. The ideal would be if we gain a bit higher and a false break to reconfirm and reconstruct, okay, and then we can go and trade it. Next one would be the Euro New Zealandian, which is also coming to the great levels we have been talking about on the weekly forecast. We are almost there. Okay, that's the 100 we have here. False break on the tops right here. False break on the bottom. Horizontal, patternal, whatever you want to call that, everything is there. Everything is there, and we have this zone as well. So that could turn to be a daily ranging pattern. This is the top one, this is the bottom one. That would be our buy zone, especially the fact that we are building a bullish hidden divergence on the daily chart. 4 hour chart supports divergence as well. We are after longs. What's the best thing to do is, of course, get false breaks. We currently had 2, okay, but we did not have any highs broken. So we need to go above this high, and then with retrace we can go and look for buys. Okay, alternatively, we continue slightly lower for the full duplication, and we start our trading right from there. Full duplication, by the way, is right here. Just slightly lower. Very, very interesting one to follow, of course. The fact that we have news in the Pacific this help a lot, of course. And we need to pay attention if that will be the trigger for us. And now the stability report in New Zealand was reported right now a few minutes ago, and it's time to pay attention again and see if it will have the impact or not. We discussed of levels. Let's see where we get it from and where we trade it from. The next one on the list would be the euro dollar, which did not hold this high, but still do hold the 4 hour chart highs. And technically it has all the reasons to make it lower. Now, as long as the highs hold the 4 hour chart, we can look for possible resell and sell to continues. One of the way to do that would be like this. If we can get it and break, we can talk about short again. Euro pound, basically the same story. It's holding the level on the 4 hour chart cycle. It looks good. We got the first movement down here. It was splitted and triple on the shorter. I can see that very well. 1, 2, 3. We are now in the combination of two cycle correction. It looks like 1, 2, 3 bit and one more, and then we can go and look to sell with the break. All that would remain relevant as long as this top hold, by the way. But if we actually try to combine the confirmations, take a look where we stand right now. Okay, that's the levels we have also supported by crystal. It It's really, really, really good. Daily is holding the very powerful sells, and end of months, beginning of months, we know how bearish it normally becomes. That's why it really, really becomes interesting to follow for short. And that's all. As I said, the market is on a position where it doesn't give back nothing. Is waiting for the for the non-farm payrolls. Silver also has some bearish pressure, but again, we already had one false break, which we can try and use. It was on the 1 hour chart. Is it good enough to use that? Well, I always prefer 2 waves retrace and then sell out currently. We just don't have it. So yes, it is bearish pressure while this top holds. If it will be broken, we will need to recalculate it, but currently the idea remains for short. Yes, again, as long as the high holds. The best way to try and go short here is, as I said, get some false break. We don't have it yet, nothing. Okay, or the alternative is get the first move, 2 waves retrace, and breakout. By this, you earn a possibility for very small risk, potentially big reward, and that's what we want to do, especially on days like that when the market is hardly moving and providing anything. Okay, so that will be all for today. Let's see if tomorrow can bring some more interesting opportunities, and if not, just remember what we always talk about. Do not force the market to do what you expect it to do. Force yourself to listen to the market when it's good or not good to trade. Thank you for watching. I wish you a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow. Yours, Vladimir.